Hey you guys, my name's Josh and I'm out here at Lee Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and this here is our 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. It's such a cool vehicle. I'm so stoked to show it to you guys, and I just want to go over some amazing features it has and just go over a general product overview with you guys. Alright, so let's get into it. So I'm starting things off with the wide shot of the vehicle, and one of the things I love about this Wrangler in particular is the color. So this finish is called Sting Gray, and it's very similar to the granite finish that Chrysler's used before, but there's something about the Sting Gray that I just absolutely love. It has this sort of flat appeal to it, and you can see right here with the Rubicon logo, they did a really nice job of integrating the red color within the paint finish, and that's something that you're only going to get with the Rubicon trim level. As for the wheels, you're going to be looking at 33-inch all-terrain tires sitting on top of 17-inch machined rims. And if you look closely, one of the really cool things that Jeep included is on all the rims you have this cool little red Jeep logo that comes with the Rubicon trim level. And then just underneath that, you're going to have four-wheel heavy-duty disc brakes, which are going to be more than capable of getting the job done. And then in addition to that, both the front and rear axles are going to be heavy-duty Dana 44 diameter axles, which is one of the most durable out there on the market for heavy-duty off-roading. And then also, one thing that's included with this Jeep in particular is the Rock Track Select system. So what the Rock Track system is, it's when you go into four-wheel drive low, it automatically goes into a 4-to-1 crawl ratio to make sure that you're going to be more than capable of climbing over anything that you come across in the wilderness. So moving over to the front of the vehicle, you can see we have a halogen-based headlight system. So you can see up front you have two halogen projector fog lights, and then the headlights themselves are a combination of halogen projector and reflector. And then it's going to be the same for the high beams as well. And stepping a little bit closer, one other thing that's included with the Rubicon trim level is these recovery hooks up here in the front are going to be red. So underneath the hood, you can see we have our 2.0 liter inline turbocharged 4-cylinder e-torque engine, and it's more than capable of keeping up with the 6-cylinder. It's got 270 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. And this particular Wrangler is actually outfitted with the 240 amp alternator, and you're going to have an 8-speed automatic with it. And with it, you're going to be able to get 21 miles to the gallon in the city and about 24 on the highway. Another thing to note as well is all of your fluids are going to be easily accessible and easy to maintain. And then you got access to an insulated battery over on the left. So now we're taking a look at the interior of the Rubicon, and I absolutely love the way this feels like a rugged off-roading vehicle. I mean, this feels like it's a truck meant to be taken on adventures. And cloth seats are going to come standard with the Rubicon, and with that you're going to get all this red accent stitching that goes across the seats and across the trim, and then you're also going to get this Rubicon logo that's stitched into the seats as well. And then you're going to get this beautiful red dash that runs all the way across from the driver's side to the passenger side. Now, another thing that I like about the Wrangler is on both the driver and passenger side door panels, you're going to have these like little storage pouches and nets. That really adds to the rugged character of the vehicle. Another thing to note is that the seats do come out too, and if you see these snaps right here, the carpet comes out as well. So if you're going to be going in a very water heavy area, you can take the carpet out, and there are drain plugs in place to be able to drain out the water. And this particular Rubicon comes with the upgraded Alpine audio with water resistant speakers, so you won't have to worry about them getting wet or anything like that. Next, I just wanted to go over the digital display for the driver, because you actually have a lot going on. So you can see in the corners right here, you have the range left on your fuel mileage, and then on the other side you have your outside temperature, and those are fully customizable for you. And then you have your miles and your gear selector at the bottom. So in the middle, I have it so that it's monitoring my speedometer, but you can change that as well. You can go through plenty of options. So you can see I'm going to go down one click, and that's going to give me the vehicle info. So you can see it's got my tire pressure. I can monitor my gauges, check up on them, and then another click, I'm going to be able to look at my drivetrain. So you can see it's going to tell me the degrees at which I'm turning at. And then if I move over one click, it's going to tell me my pitch and roll as to what degrees I'm angled at. Going down another click is going to let me monitor the fuel economy. Then you can program trips as well. And then you can look at messages that you'll be able to connect your phone through Bluetooth. You'll be able to monitor your messages. And then here in screen setup, you can see I can change what I'm looking at on the different corners. So this Rubicon is outfitted with the Uconnect 4 digital display. It's 8.4 inches and it's got navigation equipped with it, and it's also going to be compatible with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And I just wanted to go over a few things about it to help get you familiar with it. So you can see, starting off on the left under media pages, you have AM and FM radio as well as Sirius satellite radio. And then you can also select your source, whether you have Bluetooth connected, and in addition to that, you have 2 USB ports and auxiliary in. And while you're on the media pages, you can also access your maps. And moving over one click is going to give you access to your climate controls. And here you're going to have full capability as far as your temperature, the different mode configurations that you would want the air to be blowing in. You have your different AC modes, and then you have your fan speed. And it's also worth noting that even though you have your climate controls on the digital display, if that's not your thing, you also have your climate controls just one step lower with manual hardware buttons. And then moving over to the controls, you can see you can access your backup camera right here. Really cool feature. And going into apps, this is going to be your central hub for all the apps that are available with the Uconnect. And let's say, for example, I don't want my controls at the bottom. I would rather have my off-road pages there. I can just hold it down and swap them out, no big deal. And by the way, off-road pages is one of the coolest things that comes with the Jeep Wrangler and the Rubicon in particular. So you can see now that we got it loaded up, you can monitor the steering angle just like I showed you on the digital display earlier for the driver, but it goes into a little bit more detail here. And this sway bar right here at the top, you're also able to disconnect that if you want to get more articulation out of the wheels. And then I'm also going to show you the transfer case. Whether you're in two-wheel drive, you can switch into four-wheel high or four-wheel low. And then over here, you're going to be able to monitor your gauges. Then one step lower, you're going to be able to monitor your pitch and roll, just like on the driver display. And the navigation is really cool as well. So you can see, you can pinch and zoom your point on the map. You got a little Jeep right here as an icon. Or you can go into the menu and you can program in your addresses. You can select different favorites. You can go into points of interest, program trips, all kinds of stuff are available for you. This is where you will access your phone settings should you connect through Bluetooth, and it's just so simple. You just pull up the pairing on your device and match it up, and boom, you're connected. And then over on the right side, you're going to be able to access all of your vehicle settings like your clock, your camera, any safety settings that you have, your doors and your auxiliary switches, that kind of thing. So moving down a little bit lower, you can see we have our window controls in the middle instead of on the doors, and that's something that's really cool. Over to the left, you have your 12-volt auxiliary input, and it has a little key logo on it, which is going to signify that it's only going to work if the vehicle is turned on. It will not send power to the output unless the vehicle is turned on. And that's what that little key logo means. And over to the right, you have a little media hub that's set up. And that's really cool because you can see you have your USB-C and traditional USB port as well as the auxiliary in. And then over to the left, going over these buttons, you can see we have the sway bar disconnect that I was talking about earlier if you wanted to get more articulation out of the wheels. Off-Road Plus. What Off-Road Plus is, it's a mode that enables you to switch into four-wheel drive going at higher speeds. And then Also, you have your front and rear axle lock. And what your axle lock does is it's going to lock both the left and right tires on either the front or rear axle so that they are in unison with each other. So that way it doesn't matter what you're driving on, both your left and right tires are going to be turning at the exact same degrees. So you can see over to the right of that, we have our auxiliary switch group. And that's something that is an optional equipment that was equipped with this Rubicon. What's really cool about the auxiliary switches is most people tend to have to, most people when they want to add a light bar or an air compressor or something like that, or an air horn, they end up having to drill into the trim of the vehicle, or they have to put in a panel on the frame somewhere, and it just looks messy. So what Jeep did was they included a auxiliary switch group so that you can have two spots up and underneath the hood to wire a light bar or something like that. And then you have two spots underneath the dash over on the passenger side that you can wire up interior lights or an air compressor or something like that. So that's really cool. So over here on the right, we have our 8-speed automatic gear selector with the little Jeep logo on the top, which is really cool. And then to the left of that, you're going to have your selector for your transfer case, whether you want to be in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or 4-wheel low. So you can see in the center console area, it has two different layers. The top layer is going to have this shallow bay area for storage that you're going to, and it's going to have this like little rubberized grip on it. And then on the second layer, you can see you have access to your second USB port here, and then you're also going to have a Jeep toolkit that's included with every Jeep Wrangler. That's going to provide you with the tools to take off the doors and the windshield and the roof and all that good stuff. So now I'm checking out the back seat, and it feels really nice back here as well. I've got plenty of leg room and I can sit back here comfortably. What's really cool is behind both the driver and passenger seats, you have these bands that run across the back, and that's something that you can use to clip on like a bag or like a Bluetooth speaker or something like that. I think that's really nice. And then just below that, you have more of these elastic pouches, which add to the whole rugged feel of the Wrangler, which is really nice. And another thing too, in the center console, you can see you have your window controls, which is going to be the same with the front seat. And then just underneath that, you're going to have two more USB ports and a 115 volt outlet. That's going to be a standard US plug, and you can just take that and plug pretty much anything you could want to in that. So now we're checking out the back of the Rubicon, and you can see with that you're going to get a full-size spare. This actually has a nice tire cover for it that says Jeep on the back. And one really cool thing about the spare tire is that this actually has a tire pressure monitoring system, just like all the other 4 tires do. So you can monitor the air pressure in this tire as well as all the other ones. And then if you see right here, we also have a backup camera that's integrated into the cap that locks on the spare tire, which is really nice. And another thing to mention too is this third brake light right here. You see, you can actually, if you were to upgrade the size of your tires from 33s to 35s or even 37s, you can actually adjust the height of the third brake light. So that's something that they thought of. That's really nice. So checking out the trunk space, you can see we have plenty of space available. It's actually got a lot, and the rear seats do fold down as well in a 60-40 split. And in addition to that, across the bottom, you have these tie-down hooks. You're going to have 3 on each side. So you can see we have this body-colored roll cage as well for when you take the back panel off, which is really nice. And over in the back, you have this waterproof sub. What's really cool is just underneath this panel, you can see you have more storage available. And then just underneath this mat, there's a drain plug in case you get water in there while you're off-roading. And then behind that, you have holes to put your pins for your door hinges, the roof, and the windshield. And another thing to note as well is that just underneath that, the panel comes out, and then just underneath the panel, you're going to have access to the tools to help service your tires. All right, so this is going to wrap up our product overview on the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. Be sure to like and share the video. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one that I make.